we're talking about the Washington City, Seattle, Washington's so-called war on cars, as it were. At least that's the frame that defined by the Washington Policy Center and Paul Guppy, who was just on telling us about how the mayor is beholden to the Cascade Bicycle Club and therefore is taking taxpayer money and turning roads into bike lanes. The humanity. Craig Benjamin on the line, Public Policy and Government Affairs Manager for Cascade Bicycle Club. I guess cascade.org is the website. I guess you can get it, and probably Paul got it from my questions, that I'm a little more with the bicyclists than with the car drivers, although I've never been a bicyclist of any consequence, just because it seems like a rational thing to do and because I saw what they had done in Copenhagen. But Craig, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks a lot, Tom. I appreciate being on your show today.
Thanks for joining us. How do you respond to Paul's assertion that the mayor is, responding to 2% of Washington's commuters and, taking a whack at 90% of Washington's commuters, the drivers?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing to understand is, I love my car. Most Americans love my car. Heck, I'm going to hop in my car and drive 900 miles with my dog on a vacation on, a classic American road trip tomorrow. So this isn't about anyone not liking cars. But here's the thing. Here in Seattle, families want to drive less, but many of them don't have alternatives. And 60% of people in Seattle want to bicycle more, but we haven't made the investments necessary for them to feel safe. And here in Seattle, we have all sorts of people working to make their neighborhoods better. We have a growing movement of neighbors working to create more neighborhood greenways, which are low-speed, low-traffic streets that are safer for families. We have a business community that's incredibly excited about making bicycling safer by physically protecting bike lanes from car traffic. There's caring moms and dads all over our city who are trying to ride with their kids to school. And our representatives are working hard to make our streets safer for everyone. And a lot of those improvements that Paul was talking about, those are actually pedestrian and traffic safety improvements that make the road safer for drivers, for people trying to cross the street, for people on transit, and there's a side benefit that make it slightly safer for folks to bicycle. And on the whole, what we've seen through surveys that have been done is that about 2/3 of the city are strongly supportive of providing people with more options for getting around, whether through transit, walking, or biking. And it's a significant minority that is interested in having us spend more money making it easier to drive.
So you said 60% of Seattleans. What's the word for Seattle residents? Seattleites. Okay. 60% of Seattleites support more bike lanes. Where do you get that number from?
So recently, we were hearing a lot of this war on cars rhetoric that Paul was talking about, and we've heard in the media. And there was a feeling that there might be some anti-bike sentiment out in the public. So we commissioned a poll, worked with a very well-respected firm, Fairbank, Maslin, Mullen, Mess & Associates, to figure out how Seattle voters really feel about bicycling. And I want to be clear that we never intended to release any of these results publicly. We wanted to get an honest assessment of how people felt about bicycling. So we went out and asked very, very hard, very honest questions. And what we found is that there is no widespread anti-bike sentiment in Seattle, that in fact the data shows the complete opposite, that people view people who bicycle very favorably. In fact, 78% of folks do. That policies that make it safer to bicycle, like neighborhood greenways or protected bike lanes, are overwhelmingly popular in the 70 to 80% range, and that this notion of the war on cars doesn't resonate at all. It resonates with less than 30% of voters. They're primarily older, white, conservative men. And I think the question that sums it up really well, there was a forced choice question where it was, do you agree with this one or this one? And one asked people, do you prefer that we invest our money in making it easier for people to drive and get around our city because most people drive, as Paul mentioned? And the other said, people would like more options. We should invest our money in transit, walking, and biking, even if this means removing some on-street parking and some lanes in our roads. And that was 2/3 of voters supported that option.
Wow. That's
pretty
remarkable.
We were very pleased.
So is this playing, Craig Benjamin with Cascade.org, is this playing going to play a role in the mayoral election this year? The mayor's running for re-election?
Yeah, this will absolutely play a role. As as Paul mentioned, we were strong supporters of the mayor in his last re-election cycle. I want to make it clear we have not made an endorsement this cycle. The mayor has been a supporter of bicycling, and that's something we're very excited about.
Mm-hmm.
The flip side is there's a lot of folks who want him to push harder.
Yeah.
There's lots of people who think he could do even more.
Now, when we were living in Portland, there were, at that time, this was a couple of years ago, there were a couple of streets that were being, bike lanes were being expanded. The number of lanes available for car traffic was diminishing. There were a couple of instances of, people throwing things out of cars, water bottles and Coke cans kind of things at bikers, bikers flipping off drivers. I mean, there was some tension. It got played up, of course, and wildly blown out of proportion by the media, but it was there. Is that sort of thing going on in Seattle?
We did feel some of that tension. I feel, and I think a lot of folks would agree, that it's died down in the last few years. We're a very polite city with Scandinavian roots, blue-collar roots. We tend to be on the politer side. Part of the challenge is the bicycling infrastructure we've built mixes people on bikes and cars. And that only works for a very small percentage of people who are comfortable riding with traffic. About 60% of folks, as I mentioned, want to ride more. We found that number in our survey in Seattle. That's very similar to numbers in Portland and other cities across the country.
Right.
But most folks, I'll take my wife for example, she's uncomfortable riding in traffic.
Yeah, well, in New York, I know, 8th Avenue, one of my best friends lives on 8th Avenue down in the 20s. And the street out in front, they've now got concrete barriers where they've got, one lane is not just for bikes, but you can't even get into it with a car.
Yeah, and where cities have built that type of infrastructure, they've seen dramatic increases in ridership.
Right.
All of a sudden people feel safe, and they are safe.
So there's an element of if you build it, they will come.
Yes, if you build it right, people will ride.
Right. Amazing. Okay, Craig Benjamin. That website is Cascade.org, Policy and Government Affairs Manager for the Cascade Bicycle Club. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Good talking with you.